A very good looking announcement from Rome Resources this morning. The company's been drilling its Mont Agoma project in the DRC. Here to tell us more about the latest developments, it's Paul Barrett, the company's chief executive. So, Paul, there have been assay results from two holes that you've put out. What are they and what do they mean?
That's right. So we have the first of quite a large batch of results come out on the first two holes. These have actually been taking quite a while to get them out, but we are now seeing what we thought we would see. So both of these holes have very wide tin intercepts, almost up to 40 meters, 30 to 40 meters, and within that zone they have a number of discrete mineralization zones. So what we think we're seeing here is aligned with the model that, pardon me, both Alpha Min and San Rafael in Peru are seeing, which is a zonation. We have copper and zinc and tin in the intercepts that we have, which are relatively shallow. They're in the kind of 80 to 100 meter depth range. It's quite shallow compared to what Alpha Min are working at. So we see potential here because the zone is so wide that the potential for tin mineralization within that zone is very high. And therefore, as we go deeper into the system, we should pick up more tin and basically try and fill up that 30 to 40 meter wide zone with tin, or as much as we can as we get closer to the granite. So we're in a great position because obviously we did this fundraise just before Christmas, and that allows us to now drill the deeper holes. When I say deeper holes, they're not massively deep. We're going to go 200-300 meters, maybe a little bit further. It's still well above the Alpha Min operating floor, and so it's really I think it's a really good position to be in. We're going to have all our guys in Cape Town at the Indaba week after next, and we're going to plan the next phase of drilling. So we've just continued drilling with the money that we raised in December.
Yes, you've got holes still ongoing, I believe. So you mentioned drilling down to 200 or 300 meters. I mean, in mining terms, that's not really that deep, is it? And yet you guys talk about the grade increasing at those kind of depths. So tell us a little bit more about what it will mean to have to encounter increasing grades as you go further down.
Well, the topography of the area helps us as well, because both Mont Agoma and Kalaii are on topographic ridges, maybe 200 or 300 meter ridge. So when it comes to actually extracting, the topography helps us a lot in terms of being able to get deeper into the deposit quite easily. So yeah, I mean, 200 to 300 meters is not a huge effort, and so we just think that as we go down deeper into the system, we'll get more bang for our buck within that 30 or 40 meter wide zone, and time will tell. Obviously, as you say, we are drilling. We've got 4 rigs on site, so we're getting after it as quickly as we can, and we'll come back with the resource as quickly as we can once we've drilled. I don't know. We don't know exactly, because I said we're going to do the planning, but it's going to be at least 4 or 5 more holes in the southern, deeper part of Mont Agoma, and then we'll know what we have.
Now, there aren't that many junior tin explorers or developers around. So for investors who are not quite familiar about what a good tin grade looks like, perhaps you could just give us a quick explanation.
Absolutely. So the world's highest grade tin mine, which is Alpha Min, which is just 5 miles down the road, that stands head and shoulders above the rest, basically, because it's around about 4%. The extension to the south is 2.5%. Then next you get San Rafael in Peru at 2.5%, and you start then to drop off quite quickly. So you go through some of the Cornish tin mines; they're in the kind of 1 to 2%. But when you get the really large volume mines, they're really low grade, less than 1%, less than 0.5% in some cases. And so 2%, anything north of 1.5%, 2% is really world-class grade. So that's that's kind of what we're chasing there. And the tin price is strong. It's still above $30,000 a ton, so it's a really good signpost for profitability once we get there. So yeah, the future market on the tin, and also the grades that we're expecting here, both point towards a pretty world-class project.
So there's world-class tin grades. You've also got some copper and zinc that you're talking about in this announcement too. Tell us a little bit more about the copper and zinc.
Yes, it's quite well. There's a lot of zinc. Of course, zinc as a commodity is not as valuable as tin. However, there is a lot of copper as well. Very wide copper zones, 100-meter copper zone. It's not clearly all copper, but it's a mineralized zone, 100 meters wide, with pretty good grades. So yes, the combination of tin. I mean, tin is exactly what we're going for in the first place. It's exactly why we raise the money, etc., etc. But copper and to a secondary extent, zinc are pretty valuable commodities that would really help the economics.
It's an interesting project to be taking to Indaba. Do you think you'll be getting any sort of larger companies coming up to you and making inquiries?
Well, we have. I mean, clearly we went to the one-to-one and the mining investment forum and in December. Oh, sorry, in November in London, and there's another one at Cape Town. The difference there is that we were kind of talking to investors, looking for investors. We're now not doing that. We're looking for partners. So it's a different mindset. We have a large number of meetings already lined up, and I would say a quarter of those are with larger entities, kind of trying to see what we're doing and see if it's of interest to them. So yes, it'll be an interesting few days.
Yeah, we'll look forward to any results that come out of that. Now, before we go, Paul, you also mentioned in passing Kalaii a moment ago. Just tell us a little bit more about the work that's ongoing there.
So Kalaii is closer to the end of the first phase of drilling. Pardon me. We're still drilling away. We have one rig on Kalaii. We have 3 on Mont Agoma to catch up, and we are getting results in from the lab. So we need to analyze those, see what I mean, it's basically a relatively simple pure tin mineralized deposit. So we're hoping really to be able to incorporate these fairly quickly. They put out an RNS about that, and then take Kalaii through to a resource number relatively quickly without much further drilling.
So to conclude, perhaps you could just give us some sort of insight into what the news flow might look like over the coming month or two.
Yeah, so as I say, Kalaii, we will put some information out on Kalaii probably next week, and then work on the resource numbers, and then we continue with the drilling on Mont Agoma. I would suspect, where are we now, mid-late January, that we're looking at probably finishing this phase of this current phase of drilling probably by March or so. We then take stock as to what we do next. But that would then put us, we'll try and get a resource out on Mont Agoma as quickly as we can as well. So there's quite a lot going on, but I can't really tie down the exact timing yet.
So plenty to look forward to. Thanks for talking us through that today, Paul, and good luck with your talks in Indaba.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.